All right, welcome everybody to the last lesson. This is episode 12. My numbers are off. Just look at the below area and you'll know. Episode 12, Thursday, roughly about 8:45. I'm wearing my watch. Gonna go biking afterwards. Anyway, today is this episode is a Q&A. The question was basically asked if I can go a little more into detail on the 20 single man with the torque, or the torque version or the second version, as opposed to square, torque, and then full turn. Okay, explain a little more how they blend from one motion to another. So that's fine. In addition to the videos that I'm putting out for you guys, remember, if you have a question, regardless if it's basic, advanced, or intermediate, whatever, ask the question either through text or DM, and I'll definitely do my best to answer it for you. So if we first, let's go a little bit into detail. As we all know, that the source is where we want to initiate all motions, but at the same time, we also know that the knees lead the motions when it comes to turning. Now, when we do the torque, like when we say torque, we have like the second version of the 20 single man technique. We have our shoulder width apart, right? And while we still use that full version for the turn, like here's my area, I use this for a turn. When we do this, you kind of limit more of the center line right here. And then when I do that, you have that turn motion, okay? Now the detail, now you don't want to deviate too far from the center, right? In other words, if here's the starting center for tan and I torque it just a little, this is full, right, to the shoulder width area from left to right side. Torque is just a little off the center, okay? Now, going back to the premise of it starts with the source, but the knees lead the motion. The problem is when we do this, the reason I don't have you do the full shift right away, okay? Because while I say source always leads every individual motion, just as you do the punch, right? All of a sudden the hand starts dominating. If we do the shift, the legs start dominating. So the problem is if you do just a little bit of the turn, like look how I'm trying to turn it with just a little twerk motion here from the bottom. When I do this twerk motion here and I initiate with my legs, yes, if I do it here and let's say I maintain it correctly, you should snap back on the release and relaxation of it. The problem though is initiating from the knees, which you are supposed to do, but not stemming from the start of the source, means that if I go from here, forming this tension here at the knee area to create that slight torque, you're going to create more tension than you need to snap back. The difference is this initiated first will result into the same snap back into the center, but create more tension for you. But if I start from the source here and then I make the torque here, you'll notice that the tension on your knees is not the same amount as if you started it from the knees in itself. So that's very key, very pivotal to understand, because this, if I turn with the knees, right? And not that I'm not turning with the knees, we're talking about the source as far as what starts it first, chicken or egg, right? That means I have more tension and I snap back, but it's a little bit slower. If I start from the source and then create that little torque here, the tension in the knees is not as much, and this pivot back is even smoother and quicker. So that's the most important thing that you have to remember when you're doing this, the second part of the 20 single man technique, right? People get caught up with it and then they go, knee leads the motion, knee leads the motion, knee leads the motion. Yes, it's true, knee leads the motion based off the source, right? Elbow leads the motion also for the punch based off the source, right? If you initiate it by itself, then you don't have the unity involved. Remember, this is a key distributor of power and balance and unity throughout the body. If I use the knee to start this, yes, you'll get the reset, but you'll have extra tension. And remember, when we talk about the flow to S4 to F, this flow has to be created correctly in order for the relaxation period to come out smoothly as well. So that is the most pivotal thing to remember when we're doing about 20 single man technique, okay? From the torque, right? Torque. I can't remember which one we prefer. So from here, from the center, If I start with the center here, I feel the tension of the knees slightly build. And notice I'm not trying to deviate. If you're looking from center line to left shoulder, center line to right shoulder, somewhere in between, enough where I can feel the knees turn, right? And then I snap back to the other way for bong, and snap back to the other way for lap, and lan, and pak, and lan. Now, what you want to do to understand this and make it smoother is when I get the source moves to the first motion of tan, and you feel a little of the buildup on the knees occur, right? Here, then I use the knees to move, source knees to move, and I feel almost to the point where I'm maxing it out. We're a little more where, how do I know? Because here it feels balanced, here it's too much, right? When you feel the squeeze too much, I just want enough and I snap back, right? But with that snap back of the tan, right? It's almost like you want to catch the waves. Catch the waves. Like if I get to this motion here, right, of the first tan, it's like I catch the wave this tan, and then I relax it here, right? That makes sense. So you want to catch a wave from you want to go here, snap back here, snap back here. But each one of those you're trying to catch the wave from. So if you think of it this way, when I do that first torque here, right? This one I'm creating this motion here, and then from here I ride the wave of this next motion. By the time I settle into this motion here, you have a bounce back. Like if I fully relax here, right, and then I'll have to kind of like activate from left side to right side. But you want to catch it into the point where the active and passive work in your favor. So if I actively turn it here for the initial motion here, then I get to this point and then I snap back. With that snap back, I get all the way here. Now, if I ride this all the way to 0, then I'll have to create the activity to go back. But if you can catch the wave, right, here I'm active, I feel the snap, right, the tension create here, and then I relax it, and then I feel the momentum coming here to bong. When that momentum comes to bong, right here, this is where I use a little of the bounce back here to snap back here to this side here. Right before it gets to this point now, boom, I snap back here. So as when I first initiate that motion, it's almost like that ball where you hit that ball and then there's several balls here. It's like tick, 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 tick. So you want to catch the initial first motion, 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So notice I'm not 1, 2, and I'm holding it, right? Where I'm holding it here. It's okay if you're doing a breakdown first to understand that, where you're like, oh, do I feel the tension correctly? Is it the right amount of tension? But eventually when you see me do it, it's like 1. Once I get to this 1 motion, 2 motions, 3 motions, 4, 5, 6, right? So when I get that little twerk motion in there, let me do the full one so you can see. 1, I feel it, snap back. 2, I feel it, snap back. 3, feel it, building up. 4, 5, 6. Now 6 is here, like when we go here, like from one torque to another, from the shift. Shoot, I'm forgetting which one. Sorry, I'm forgetting each one. Tan, bong, lap, pak, lan, bu, jum, woo, hyun, jet, out, gum, bak, pow, gan, ding, han, lo, jung, cow. Now, in some instances, the timing of it isn't necessarily left, right, bounce back and forth, okay? Like for example, when I do low bong, right? I do low bong and then I snap back. As long, when you look at that motion, when I snap back here, there's already a momentum. It doesn't necessarily, I need momentum to go back, just a little for me to go back to center or to one side to another. But when you do low bong here and you feel the torque here, this is enough to reset you back in the center. Now, once I reset back in the center, where is my motion from that as far as here's a twerk and then pull back? Remember, the ball circle functions right? What's its purpose? When we have the ball and it's sealed in place, it snaps naturally back. But the ball circle also functions as what? When you feel people land on your arm or you land on them, that means the ball circle, if done properly, resets you back to center, but also resets you and makes sure your vertical is back in place. So if you all of a sudden you find yourself here, that means the circle's not functioning. But it should snap you right back here to the center if you're doing it correctly as well. So it's not just like in one way, just aiming at the target, but also snapping you back, always making sure you stand straight the entire time if you're doing it correctly. Okay? So, see how much time we got. 10 minutes into this. Hopefully, this is not too detailed, but the main thing is the from the source to the knee is the main idea I want you to get to understand. So from the low bong here, the snapback is automatically to the center. Now from the center, it feels stagnant. But anything that has stagnant, look, if I'm going from here to here to further out, you come back in. See, there's a wave with it. 1 to 2, right? It's not 1, 2, 3. You see how I'm breaking that down? 1 to 2 to 3. 1 to 2 to 3. Settle back in. All right, so there's many different ways to understand how that flow actually works, but the main thing, right, is basically how that functioning from the source to the knees snaps you back to the center one way and retains your center up and down vertically another way. All right, hopefully that answers your question as far as how the 20 actually is used with the second form version of it with the twerk or the torque, and hopefully that makes things easier.